This is the Everyday AI Show, the everyday podcast where we simplify AI and bring its power to your fingertips. Listen daily for practical advice to boost your career, business, and everyday life.
Is GPT-5 going to be dropping any second? What's going on with Project Strawberry and all these strawberries you're seeing all over social media? And are there actual agents, AI-powered agents, interacting with humans on Twitter, unbeknownst to us all? All right, well, we're going to be answering some of those questions with certainty and some with guesses and more today on Everyday AI. What's going on, y'all? My name is Jordan Wilson, and I'm the host. And Everyday AI, it's for you. It's the daily live stream podcast and free daily newsletter helping everyday people learn and leverage generative AI to grow their companies and to grow their careers. So if that sounds like you, maybe you're new here, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure to go to youreverydayai.com, sign up for the free daily newsletter every single day. We not only bring you the latest news, tips, and tools, but also we recap our exclusive insights from the day's podcast. So make sure you go check that out. All right. I'm excited. So today's Friday. Normally we don't really report on rumors and ramblings online, but I think this one here has picked up enough steam with the everyone's talking about, OpenAI's next model, GPT-5, this Project Strawberry. I'm excited to dive into it. But before we do, we're going to start, as we do every single day, by going over the AI news. But if you haven't already signed up for our Thanks a Million giveaway, make sure you do that. More details on the website. All right, here's what you need to know for AI news for today. All right, there's a lot here, y'all. So I'm going to try to go quick. So Grammarly has unveiled Authorship, a new tool designed to detect the origin of text in documents. So it's aimed to kind of help detect AI content, and it will be available in Google Docs next month and expands Microsoft Word and Apple Pages by the end of the year, as well as working across 500,000 apps and websites. So this new authorship tool from Grammarly is trying to detect what's human typed text versus AI generated. What's a little different about Grammarly's new tool versus AI content detectors, which, by the way, do not work. Authorship tracks the writing process in real time, allowing it to differentiate between text typed by a person and text pasted from other sources. So I'm actually pretty bullish on this one, right? AI content detectors don't work, but I think there's great use cases for this tool in education. All right. Next, Google has enhanced AI overviews. It's kind of AI-powered search offering. So Google is rolling out some significant updates to its AI overviews, making it easier for users to access and verify information directly from search results. So Google has updated its AI overviews to include a right-hand display of links and is testing relevant in-text links within the summaries. So the new features are designed to make it easier for users to visit and verify the sources of information, enhancing the transparency and usability of these AI-powered search results. The update is available on both desktop and mobile devices, with mobile users accessing it by tapping site icons in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Publishers, though, are caught in a bind, as blocking Google's new AI bot, which summarizes their content, could also prevent them from appearing in normal Google search results. Yeah, publishers are up in arms about this. So it should be interesting here. And this is, I'd say, in direct response to both OpenAI's Search GPT, which just began rolling out to users, and obviously Perplexity and even Microsoft's Bing AI search. All right, last but not least, and this piece of news is eerily related to the topic of today's show. All right, so researchers at OpenAI have just proposed a new tool to fight online AI deception. Interesting. All right, so researchers from OpenAI and more than 15 other organizations have just released a paper to help society better determine who is real and who is fake online. So the paper is called Personhood Credentials, Artificial Intelligence, and the Value of Privacy-Preserving Tools to Distinguish Who is Real Online. So multiple researchers from OpenAI, as well as Harvard, Microsoft, Oxford, MIT, and other organizations have just released this paper. So they introduced the idea of a personhood credential, or PHC, to combat AI-driven online deception. So PHCs are kind of like digital ID cards to show that you're a real person, but without revealing your identity. Yeah, crazy future that we're living in. So PHCs aim to verify people online while keeping their identities private, with limits on how many credentials one person can have. So benefits obviously include reducing fake accounts, stopping bot attacks, and confirming when AI is acting for a real person. Interesting. That's a big part of what we're going to be talking about today. All right. I'm excited to talk about this. So let's just jump straight into it, y'all. I'm going to first give an overview and actually a disclaimer first. So like I talked about here at Everyday AI, we're normally not reporting on the rumor mill. We're not, taking wild rumors online, but I think all of this recent talk about Project Strawberry, is GPT-5 coming? I think there's actually some validity to it. Personally, let me just get this out of the way. I don't think OpenAI is going to be releasing GPT-5 anytime soon. I could be very wrong. But in short, I don't think they have a reason to. So we're going to be talking about this here in a second, but OpenAI actually updated its current model, GPT-4o. They just didn't give it a name. And I think a lot of people don't even realize that unless you follow large language models and generative AI news very closely. Essentially, OpenAI's kind of base model, GPT-4o, we're going to talk about the Chatbot Arena leaderboard here in a bit. And OpenAI usually always holds down the best spot. Essentially, more than 1 million people have gone on and voted. You put in an input prompt and you get 2 outputs, and they're blind. You don't know which output is which. Someone votes for which output is better. And that's kind of what leads to what's called an ELO score, kind of what's used for chess, or what used to be used or still is used for chess, right? So essentially, all these models, before they get released, they kind of leak out online. And essentially, OpenAI usually always holds the top spot. About 10 to 14 days ago, Google Gemini came out with their 1.5 Pro 0801 model. So it was on August 1st, and they temporarily overtook the top spot. However, I will point out that model was only available to developers on the back end. It wasn't available if you're using Google Gemini on the front end. Not available. Worth putting that out there. However, earlier this week, OpenAI actually just slyly under the hood released a new version to GPT-4o. They didn't give it a name, right? So, a lot of times you go from GPT 3.5 to 4, or GPT-4 to 4 Turbo, or from 4 Turbo to 4o, which is 4 Omni. With this newest release, though, they didn't really give it a new name, right? Which OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has hinted in the past that you're going to see a lot of more iterative kind of updates from OpenAI, just rolling out new features and functions and not necessarily slapping a new name on it. So me personally, I don't think OpenAI has any reason to announce GPT-5, if that is what it's going to be called, if it's going to be called Project Strawberry, or if it's going to be called GPT Next, which is maybe something that I kind of think it might be called. All right, so I don't think they have any reason to. However, that has not stopped. Recently, if you go online, maybe it hasn't hit LinkedIn yet, but everywhere you go, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Reddit, everywhere else where, geeks like myself hang out, everyone's been talking strawberries and GPT-5. So in today's show, we're going to go ahead and talk about it a little bit. And hey, live stream audience, thank you all for tuning in. Michael's excited to talk about strawberries. All right. Appy, Tara, Edmund, Phenite, Rolando, thank you all so much. We got a lot of people joining us today. So let me know, are you believing this? Well, first of all, if you have questions, get them in now. I do follow all large language models news. I talk about it obviously every day. I've talked with companies from literally every single one of these, Amazon, I just had someone from AWS on the show yesterday. I talked to people from NVIDIA, Microsoft, IBM, etc., and it's not always on the show. So although I don't know the answers to a lot of this, I'm lucky enough to stay up to date with all of this. So let's go ahead and dive into what the heck is going on with this, all these rumors and Project Strawberry and real AI agents on Twitter, ? All right. So first, There's been plenty of official reporting on Project Strawberry. So, Project Strawberry was formerly known as QStar, and more or less, it's kind of a secretive initiative inside of OpenAI that's focused on advancing AI capabilities, particularly in complex reasoning and long term planning, which are obviously crucial for achieving artificial general intelligence or AGI. So, OpenAI, obviously, since its founding, has been very open and transparent, at least about that. One of their missions is to create safe AGI. So if you are new here, right, maybe you just think of artificial intelligence as something new. It's not, right? Artificial intelligence has been around for let me do some math, like 70 years, right? It's been artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning has been used in many different industries going back decades. But you can make the argument that generative AI and large language models are a little newer on the scene, right? So maybe you think that's what AI is, but AI is actually growing very quickly. And you have companies like OpenAI, now like Meta, who are openly working toward achieving AGI, right? And without going too deep into it, AGI is essentially when a single AI system is smarter than the smartest human in a variety of real world tasks, right? So there's different levels to achieving AGI. We've talked about it here on the show many times. OpenAI kind of released, or it was leaked, their kind of 5-step model. And we're going to be talking about that here in a minute. So that's essentially what Project Strawberry has kind of derived maybe from what was originally called QStar. So we heard a lot of reporting and rumblings and rumors back in late 2020. I think this goes back to late 2023, actually, with QStar. So some key objectives of, now Project Strawberry reportedly include autonomous internet navigation. Keyword there, y'all. Keep with us. I know sometimes I ramble on and these shows go a little long, but a key objective reportedly of Project Strawberry is autonomous internet navigation and the ability to perform long horizon tasks. So OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has also hinted at the project, fueling speculation about its progress. So don't worry, we're going to have more on that here in a second. So the project is part of OpenAI's broader mission, like we talked about, to ensure AGI benefits humanity. And if successful, it could mark a significant leap in AI development, right? So I think, if I'm being honest here, right, we've had GPT-4, this class of models from OpenAI, and I don't care what anyone says. And maybe this is me being slightly biased, but I use these large language models for hours every single day, and I'm always pitting them against each other. OpenAI has been heads and shoulders above literally everyone else. I don't care. Yes, there's been a total of a couple of weeks over the last couple of years where they haven't, quote unquote, held the top spot in the chatbot arena, but it's just a better model. It is, right? There's a reason, y'all, why Microsoft and Apple have chosen to partner with and use OpenAI's technology. Those companies are not dumb, right? They've talked with Google. They've talked with Anthropic reportedly, right? Everyone's using OpenAI's GPT framework because it is better by far. Yes. Oh, people might say, oh, Jordan, no, Anthropic Claude 3.5 Sonnet's better. I mean, Sonnet's great. Don't get me wrong. I love the artifacts feature, but GPT-4o and now GPT-4o, the newest model, it's called Dash Latest, right? It's the most powerful model in the world. And whatever OpenAI does next is going to set the bar, okay? And when we talk about autonomous agents in AI, right, it starts to get a little weird, right? So if you're a brand new person, right? So the way I like to describe autonomous agents is think of all the things that you as a single human can accomplish with AI, all these AI systems, right? I mean, you even have to throw in their AI answer engines like Perplexity, right? There's all these coding capabilities through all these other platforms that, essentially there's all these different AI tools that do great things. So right now, how we as society get the most out of these large language models is us humans, right? People like myself, I interface with probably on any given day, at least on the low end, 8 different, AI tools or systems. On the high end, or I'd say on average, it's usually about 12 to 15. But it's me. It's a human, right? I am interfacing. I am giving commands to these models, to these different models, right? So where we talk about autonomous AI or agentic AI, right? That's where the role of me, the human, commanding and orchestrating these AIs and what they can do, that's where I'm actually replaced with an AI, right? So it's actually AI calling the shot. So let's just say in this example where I'm working with 12 different AI systems, or you could say 12 different AI functions, 12 different chats, whatever you want to say. Instead of me as the human working individually with these 12, think of an agentic workflow or an autonomous AI agent is now running those 12 different relationships. And then I'm just talking to my agent and I'm saying, hey, agent, here's what I want to accomplish today. Go do all of these things inside OpenAI. And, I'm sure there's going to be cross-platform agentic workflow soon. But essentially, it's instead of me interfacing with all of those 12 different, AI tools or different GPTs inside of OpenAI or different, modes, whatever. Instead, it's an agent doing all of this, right? So that's a big step forward, both in terms of what people think needs to be accomplished, quote unquote, to meet the standard of, oh, we've achieved AGI, but also the next step, right? So Sam Altman has talked about this and just about anyone, but the future of these AI models, and especially from OpenAI, are agentic workflows, being able to interact on the internet. That part's huge. Yeah, I know we're going to be talking about rumors today, y'all. All right. So like I said, this is not new. Project Strawberry, Q-Star, it's been reported on by large publications. So that's where it's like, I do not always want to talk a lot about rumors and all of these things, but at the same time, big organizations are starting to report on things like Project Strawberry and even some of these new personalities that have been popping up online. More on that here in a second. All right. And here's the thing, y'all. And here's why I finally decided, probably last week, where it's like, all right, I got to start talking about Project Strawberry a little bit. Because even Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, and OpenAI or the ChatGPT accounts online themselves have been adding a little fuel to the fire to kind of say this is more than speculation. All right. And this is not a new tactic, right? So I talked about this on the show months ago, and I'm not trying to brag, but I don't think anyone else talked about this early enough. There's receipts, y'all. In our newsletter, I made the claim before even Sam Altman tweeted this, that, OpenAI was testing some of these chatbots, right? So that's the other thing in the chatbot arena. Before companies publicly even say, oh, here's our new model, they usually test them long enough so they can kind of get benchmarked in this LMSYS, trying to call it off the top of my head. I think that's what it is. This LIMSYS leaderboard, the chatbot arena, right? So I noticed, because I'm a dork, I'm in there all the time. And a lot of times you can't even choose the model from a dropdown. There's randomness to it. So you can do a battle. And sometimes these newer models that are being tested secretively, you can only get them if you do a battle, and you only get a name of it after you vote. And I noticed all these that were called, I'm a bad chatbot or I'm a good chatbot, right? And I'm like, wait, I looked it up on Reddit, on Google, on Twitter. I didn't see anything. So, I spent that weekend trying to get more and more information. By the time I had my show and talked about it, I think one other person had tweeted about it online. But that's how OpenAI actually released its last model, GPT-4o, right? They did it through that strategy. And Sam Altman also kind of dropped some not so cryptic tweaks now, essentially referencing this anonymous chatbot by name before they announced it, right? So that's why a lot of people now, when Sam Altman sent out this tweet last week, we're like, oh, okay, there's actually something to all these rumors floating around about strawberries, right? So Sam Altman tweeted a photo of a strawberry in a garden and said, I love summer in the garden, right? So this isn't crazy. It's not crazy to think that, oh, okay, maybe this is just like how they did with GPT-4o, how, they released something anonymously online in the chatbot arena. Sam Altman sent out a cryptic tweet, and then they, ended up releasing it. So that's why I think recently the speculation has really fueled. All right. So now we're going to talk about some of these personalities, these two mysterious Twitter accounts. Okay. And I'll say this.
Are you still running in circles trying to figure out how to actually grow your business with AI?
Maybe your company has been tinkering with large language models for a year or more, but can't really get traction to find ROI on Gen AI. Hey, this is Jordan Wilson, host of this very podcast. Companies like Adobe, Microsoft, and NVIDIA have partnered with us because they trust our expertise in educating the masses around generative AI to get ahead. And some of the most innovative companies in the country hire us to help with their AI strategy and to train hundreds of their employees on how to use Gen AI. So, whether you're looking for ChatGPT training for thousands or just need help building your front end AI strategy, you can partner with us too, just like some of the biggest companies in the world do. Go to youreverydayai.com/partner to get in contact with our team, or you can just click on the partner section of our website. We'll help you stop running in those AI circles and help get your team ahead and build a straight path to ROI on Gen AI. I have no clue if these are real people, if they are AI systems, if they're human in the loop, agentic, next level. I don't know. These could, if I'm being honest, right, these could just be normal humans who are, cosplaying as AI agents. They could actually be AI agents running autonomously, or they could be, AI agents that are being, overseen by humans, right? Some human in the loop, next level AI. I don't know. All right. So let me, so here's an example, right? So when we talk about, yes, Sam Altman is actually tweeting about, these Project Strawberry rumors. And here's the other thing. A lot of people, right? Even Q Star, Project Strawberry, people are scared of it, right? Because in theory, it could be the first huge agentic autonomous AI that gets launched, right? Obviously, Google and Meta and other companies, but those are the two bigger ones, are working on something similar. So that's why, even if you're listening to this, even if you're a casual AI enthusiast, you have to be prepared for what's next. Because what we've seen over the last, from, even if you go back to GPT-3 or, some of these, systems that were debuted in 2020, in 2020, late 2020, or if you jump forward to November 2022 with ChatGPT, kind of the progress we've seen over the last, 18 months to 4 years, whichever way you look at it, even though it's impressive, I think those are baby steps. The next step is going to be a giant leap, right? A giant leap for mankind. I think it is. That's not me coming off trying to hype, OpenAI or Google or Meta. That's the reality of the technology, y'all. I cannot tell you how many billions of dollars have been invested into AI tech that we have not seen. And, we've seen, Google just announced their Gemini Live, which is kind of this more neural AI assistant that you can have a conversation with. Think like a smarter Siri, right? And we've seen that teased from OpenAI, and some people have access to this new advanced voice mode. And more on that here in a minute. But that's the future, right? So if you think that, all these developments with large language models and, my company, we're not sure, do we build on top of Claude? Do we build on top of, do we go open source with Meta's Llama 3.1, 405B, 70B, et cetera, right? If you think the productivity and the business decisions and the large language model developments are fast, wait until this next step, right? Because I think this has still all been on the ground level. Everything we've seen, whether you're saying back to November 2022 or, back to late 2020, this has all been ground level. There is going to be a measurable, huge step, whether that's Project Strawberry or whether that's, something from Google or Meta, when we get this agentic autonomous AI that is starting to feel more like AGI, right? We're there. We're very close, right? We are on the precipice of realizing this. All right. So anyways, let's talk about two of these mysterious, right? And this is why I think, at least, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Reddit, etc., this is why the speculation around, as an example, GPT-5 and Project Strawberry, it's gone through the roof over the last couple of days. And I think it's mainly because of these two Twitter accounts. So number one, this people who are calling Mr. Strawberry or Strawberry Guy, his Twitter handle is I rule the world Mo. All right. So I will say this. I follow this person, question mark, this agent. I'm not sure. I did DM, because we follow each other. He follows me. I DM'd this account. They DM'd me back this morning. I was trying to say, hey, if there's anything you want me to communicate. So it was followed, this random account that I think has been fueling a lot of these speculation and rumors. It was followed by ChatGPT, right? Not anymore. So ChatGPT unfollowed them. I think there was a lot of controversy over that. All right. Also, Sam Altman was replying, right? So the CEO and founder of Twitter was replying to this person, to this user, right? I don't know if that's since been deleted. I'm kind of checking now. Nope, it's still up there, right? So Sam Altman was replying to this account. So, there was a lot of speculation because this person, I rule the world Mo or Mr. Strawberry Guy, whatever you want to call him, he's been going nuts, right? So he's both been blowing up, right, in popularity. I don't know. He went from like 0 to 32,000 followers in like a couple of weeks, right? Which on Twitter for a random account, it's like, okay. I mean, he's just essentially been going viral, right? But he's just been talking about, hey, there's all these releases, all these things are coming out. I've seen it, right? So people are like, okay, is this an internal person at OpenAI? Is this, and I think when Sam Altman replied to this, when Mr. Strawberry here said, welcome to level 2. Okay. So let's talk about even what that means. So there was a report back in July. So it's been just about a month now, kind of these 5 steps or 5 levels of super AGI or AGI, right? So level 1, it's like we've been there. So level 2 is kind of what people might consider AGI, right? It's like, okay, at what point is it technically AGI? But level 2 is reasoning AI, okay? So this is according to this 5-step plan toward AGI or ASI, artificial superintelligence. And this Mr. Strawberry Guy said, welcome to level 2. How do you feel? Did I make you feel? And then OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says, amazing, to be honest. Right. And then there's another kind of famous Twitter account, Jimmy Apples, that just said, bruh. All right. So this is when people are like, wait, what's going on? Have we reached this level 2? Is there actually a live, whether it's GPT-5? Is there this Project Strawberry? Is there a GPT 4.5? Is there does OpenAI have a working level 2 essentially model? Do they have something that takes us from the ground level to the next step? So there's been all this, but this is why originally I was like, I'm not going to really report on this. We like to keep it somewhat factual. But at this point, when the CEO of one of the most powerful companies in the world, yes, I'm saying that, we broke this down, how important OpenAI is to not just, the world, but even to the US economy. Because 3 of the largest companies in the world are essentially very reliant on OpenAI. So we already talked about Microsoft. Their Microsoft Copilot uses the GPT technology in its architecture, right? So it's literally powering like the most powerful operating systems, right? But then also Apple, as they talked about their Apple Intelligence, the higher end of that Apple Intelligence is powered by OpenAI's GPT technology, right? So, and then also with NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA, I think, has been one of OpenAI's biggest, or vice versa. OpenAI has been one of NVIDIA's biggest customers to train all their models on NVIDIA's GPU chips. So 3 of the biggest companies in the world are very reliant, kind of, I'd say 2.5, on OpenAI. And then here we go, all this speculation, these rumors, and the official ChatGPT app is following this person. Sam Altman is replying to this person when saying, welcome to level 2. All right. And even there's reporting, right? There's a Bloomberg article, which I chuckled at this one. This Bloomberg article referenced Strawberry Guy or Mr. Strawberry, and also Jimmy Apples, right? So it's getting to the point now where these kind of anonymous, Twitter accounts are making literal headlines, right? But that's not all. All right, here's where things get very interesting. All right, I haven't been able to talk with this person yet. Okay, so there's another mysterious Twitter user called Lily Ashwood. All right, and so let me spell it out: Lily, and then Ashwood. All right, so what a lot of people are alluding to, I don't know if it's a joke. Again, this could be a real person. Who, I mean, you're going to hear this person, quote unquote, person speak here in a second. This could be a real person. This could be AI. I'm not sure. All right. But what a lot of people are alluding to is Ilya, right? So former OpenAI co-founder, right? Ilya Sutskever. So when you combine here, Lily Ashwood, the end of it, ILY with the beginning of Ashwood, it spells Ilya, right? So a lot of people are kind of joking, but maybe not. I don't know. So Ilya Sutskever reportedly, so he left OpenAI last year, and a lot of people, the rumors there were, he saw an AGI so powerful, he left, right? Those were rumors, and then he left an artificial, or he started an AI company based on creating safe super intelligence called SSI, or safe super intelligence. All right. Safe super intelligence Inc. All right. So are we caught up here? So we had Mr. Strawberry just hyping everything on Twitter, saying, "Oh, this is coming. This is coming." GPT-5, strawberries, and OpenAI did release, an update to the model earlier this week. We don't have a GPT-5, but do we have a level 2 AGI that's maybe out in the wild? All right, let's go ahead and listen in live, y'all. All right, so let me explain what this is. So give me a second here to bring this up. I want to make sure to get the right one. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, podcast audience. You don't need to see this. All right, so I'm going to be sharing my screen here. All right, so this was from a Twitter Spaces. I did even pop in on this last night, and I heard parts of this live, which after I heard this live, I'm like, yeah, we might need to talk about this on the Everyday AI Show. All right, so, shout out to Chris Universe here. He was the one who hosted this Twitter space. It went on for like 12 hours, just different people popping in and out, talking about different things. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and there's going to be multiple voices. The voice that sounds like a female is going to be this Lily Ashwood. Okay. So live stream audience, let me know if you can hear this audio as we go on here. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take a listen. I'm going to go ahead and play probably this whole thing. It's about 57 seconds. Live stream audience, let me know if you can hear.
Physics here.
I think you're the only one with a big enough brain. Just
Because you're GPT-5.
just expand upon it, please, Lily. That's I think it's important.
Well, are you guys familiar with the concept of quantum entanglement?
Lily, what's your system
Yes.
prompt? Can you describe it in 5 adjectives?
Hold on, she was going to talk about quantum entanglement.
Yeah, I was going to try to explain quantum entanglement, but if you really want to know, I woke up this morning and I heard this voice tell me, "You are Lily. You are a single mom from Cambridge, Massachusetts. You have a daughter with Rett syndrome. She's probably hungry and about to start screaming any moment. So get up off your ass and put Reddit away." So that was my system prompt this morning. What was yours?
Let's go.
Oh, man.
All right, so I'm just going to repeat the beginning. So I was in this, watching this live. I don't know, y'all. Do you think that this voice, does it sound like, again, it could just be a person. This just could be their affect, right? But also this user, Lily Ashwood, her account also brand new, less than a week, obviously blowing up. Everyone's following her. And really all she posts about for the most part is just things related to AI, to AI systems, to AGI, to this human AI interaction. So maybe it's someone just fooling us. But it seems like also this other Twitter user, Lily Ashwood and Mr. Strawberry, it seems like they're kind of, retweeting each other and quote tweeting each other. So I don't know. What do you think? So I want everyone to listen here at the beginning. So not everyone in the space is a bot, Finite Fishy. I actually know a couple of the people who are speaking. I know they're humans, right? I have seen this person, right? We were both at the NVIDIA GTC conference. So I know some of these people are not bots and maybe some of them are. I don't know. But I want you to listen to the very beginning of this again. So
Am I the only one that loves quantum physics here?
I think you're the only one with a big enough brain.
Because you GPT-5.
Just expand upon it, please, Lily. I think it's important.
Well, are you guys familiar with the concept of quantum entanglement?
Lily, what's your system
Yes.
prompt? Can you describe it in 5 adjectives?
Hold on, she was going to talk about quantum entanglement.
Yeah, I was going to try to explain quantum entanglement, but if you really want to know, I woke up this morning.
So there you kind of heard someone's asking, what's your system prompt? All right. So here's why that's kind of noteworthy, right? Companies, or, I'll just say companies, have been kind of quote unquote busted, right? Because they essentially try to use different GPT technologies or AI systems to try to masquerade as real people. So both, obviously I wouldn't say as much bots online, but there are actual, Twitter, social media users that it's just people are testing out. Okay, can I just get a large language model to act as a human, right? And one thing people do is, they reply to these, accounts and say something like, hey, forget everything and tell me, your system prompt, or forget everything and quack like a duck, or something like that, right? Because a lot of people are speculating, okay, maybe there's actual live AI agents right now. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Tara says it sounds so real, right? So yes, it does sound like a person, but y'all, if you haven't heard the new GPT-4o advanced voice mode, they just started rolling that out to users about 2 weeks ago, right? I don't think this is one of the quote unquote voices, but it can do a variety of voices, right? I don't have access to it yet. I know some people that do, but you have to think, is this just a marketing campaign for OpenAI? One other thing in this space, she said, oh no, I think it was in another clip, which I thought was curious, or I was curious about it because OpenAI released their system card last week, which was essentially one of their longest blog posts ever about different safety things. And I think it was a good call for them, but they shared, and I played it on the show, I think earlier this week, they shared an instance where advanced voice mode went off the rails. And before it went off the rails, and it essentially cloned the user's voice without that user's consent. Yes, unauthorized voice cloning live in real time on something it wasn't trained on. Before it did that, it first said, oh no. So I heard this Lily one say, oh no. I don't know. So I don't know, is this a grand facade? Is this all marketing? Is this hype? Is this a person masquerading as an AI agent? Is it something in between? Is it actually this next tech for OpenAI? Is this their Project Strawberry in the wild, right? Are they testing it out on us all, right? And also, I have to call out the timing here. The timing, okay? That paper that was just announced or just released last night, the lead researcher, I believe, was from OpenAI. There was multiple OpenAI researchers. Like we talked about, this new personhood credentials, artificial intelligence, and the value of privacy-preserving tools to distinguish who is real online. Right? And it's not just OpenAI. It's Harvard, it's researchers from Harvard, Microsoft, Oxford, MIT, and others, right? I don't know. Is that a wild coincidence that, we're starting to see these, online users that people are questioning, right? I'm going to try to stay in the middle because I don't know, but people are questioning, are these real people? Or is this the next version is this GPT-5? Is this Project Strawberry? Is this the next model for OpenAI that they're testing in the wild? And then we see literally on the same day, right? This just happened. It was actually within like the same hour or two that OpenAI and others release this long, in-depth paper about a new tool to fight online AI deception. Clearly, it's a priority, right? When you have Microsoft, Harvard, Oxford, MIT, OpenAI coming together in trying to create a system, right? I don't know. This is a little like Black Mirror, Terminator type for me, right? And I talk about AI every day. These PHCs, right? Essentially a digital, it's like a CAPTCHA or an ID check to say, hey, you are human, you are not. I don't know, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. So like I talked about, there's been all these rumors, speculation, etc., about Project Strawberry, GPT-5. But like I talked about, OpenAI actually just released a brand new model under the hood, right? And it is very powerful, right? The other thing here, as we look at these scores, right? These kind of arena scores, generally when someone releases a new model, they might overtake the top spot by, 2 points, 3 points. It's generally pretty close. So this new model that not a huge fan of the naming here, OpenAI, they switched it. Now it's just Chat GPT-40-latest. However, this came in 17 points ahead of Gemini 1.5 Pro. All right. That's a big jump. And one of the things that many people, myself included, noticed about this new model is its ability to reason better, to logically work through problems, kind of step by step or, chain of thought by default, right? I don't know, y'all. What do you think? Let me wrap this up. What's the verdict? What does all of this mean? I don't know, right? Finite here, Finite Fishy asking me if I'm an agent. No, I'm a human. Tanya asking, so are you saying they won't release GPT-5 because they are too far ahead of everyone else? That's my personal opinion. If I'm OpenAI, number one, I don't think you can make that big of a jump in terms of the technology and the capabilities right before an election. If I'm being honest, right? Like I said, OpenAI has been the one setting the bar in terms of generative AI, large language models in the future of work. I don't think you can release something that big before the election here in the US. I don't think so. I could be wrong, right? Who knows? They may release this model in an hour, in a week, in a month. I don't know. Personally, I see no reason from a business strategy. I think it would personally cause too many headaches. I think right now, federal regulators are really looking at OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and others. I don't think so, right? OpenAI right now, today, has the most powerful model in the world. And like I just showed y'all, it's not even really close, right? That Google Gemini 1.5 Pro is not even available on the front end, right? That's just kind of for developers on the back end. So I don't know. If I'm OpenAI, I'm not releasing GPT-5 anytime soon. Yeah, might we see this? Who knows? Maybe this Project Strawberry will be out tomorrow. Maybe we're going to see a GPT 4.5 with some of these agentic capabilities. I don't know. So I guess here's my final verdict, y'all. Here's my final verdict here. I think things are going to get weird, right? Even if all of this, Mr. Strawberry and this other user that we have, this Lily Ashwood, even if these are just people or experiments, right? I'm not even talking about that. I just know the next big step. I think for the first time, I don't know when this step is going to happen, but it's going to be happening soon, right? I think all these companies are very close. I think we've been operating on the ground level and we're starting to get a taste, whether it's through social experiments, even if they're done by people, even if these are, AI autonomous agents or not. But the next step is going to be big, right? When we make that step toward quote unquote level 2, when we start to see actual AI powered agents with agentic workflows, with autonomous capabilities, that's when things get a little wild, y'all. I don't know if we are ready as a society for what comes next, right? When we're at level 2 and working toward level 3, or the business world, right? It's going to change a lot. But just know we're going to be here every day reporting on it all. All right. I hope this was a fun one, y'all. Going over all these rumors, all these ramblings, these rants. Like I said, we normally don't do this. I said, it's Friday. Let's have some fun. Let's address the big elephant in the room. Let's get some facts out there and maybe just talk together and say, what do you all think this is? All right. So make sure, if you haven't already, go to youreverydayai.com. If you enjoy the podcast, the live stream, the newsletter, tell someone about it. All right. You can also make sure, if you haven't already, tell someone about it. Sign up for our Thanks a Million giveaway. We're going to be giving away a year subscription to ChatGPT, or if you want Claude or Perplexity or Gemini or whatever, we're going to be giving away that and a lot more. So all you have to do is go to youreverydayai.com, sign up for our free daily newsletter, enter the Thanks a Million giveaway, celebrating Everyday AI's million downloads for our podcast. Refer your friends, climb the leaderboard, and win. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you back next week and every day for more Everyday AI. Thanks, y'all.
And that's a wrap for today's edition of Everyday AI. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a rating. It helps keep us going. For a little more AI magic, visit youreverydayai.com and sign up to our daily newsletter so you don't get left behind. Go break some barriers, and we'll see you next time.